Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball, the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on May 18th, 2019. If you'd like to get my game Decoding the Powerball, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. So to help me do that, I'm going to turn to the 5 strategies of my game. So strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, why I make them is to show you on how to use my game. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is a format that I came up with that represents the 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize at the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage. And the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 7, 17, 33, 61, and 68. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list. And now I'm going to find out what colors they were. Okay, so you can see that the 7 is purple, 17 is green, 33 is green, 61 is red, and the 68 is green. Okay, so I'm going to color these in. So again, the 7 was purple. The 17, 33, and 68 were green. And the 61 was red. Okay, so now I'm going to count how many colors I have. So I have 3 green, 1 red, 1 purple for 3 colors total. Okay, so now I'm going to come up here. I'm going to make this 332 color code drawings I kept track of so far. And out of this 332, a 3-color combination has now come up 180 times. Okay, so if you divide 180 into 332, you're going to see that a 3-color combination comes up more than half the time. Okay, and to me that's huge because long term, if I just keep on picking a 3-color combination, I know I'm going to be statistically correct more than half the time. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a new game card. So I'm going to eliminate all these colors here, okay, and start from scratch. So my color code is right here. You can see that this represents the red numbers, the orange, green, blue, and purple, okay. So what I did here is I took the 69 white ball numbers, I divided it by 5 colors, and that's 1 color for each of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. And that equals 13.8. Okay, so my goal is to get as close to as 13 or 14 numbers per color as possible, or a good representation of each color. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with the red numbers, and you can see that it represents the last 3 drawings of numbers. Okay, and the reason why that is because this will give me a maximum of 15 numbers. Okay, so I'm going to start in with the 7, the 17, the 33, the 61, and the 68. And then the next line is 6, 8, 9, 37, and 40. And then the next line is 1, 45, 53, 64, and 66. So again, I'm going to make this red numbers, all right? And now I'm going to count how many I have. So I got 2, and 3 is 5, 2 is 7, 3 is 10, 2 is 12, and 3 is 15. So none of these numbers repeated itself, okay? So I have the maximum of 15 red numbers here, okay? So now I'm going to move on to the orange area. So I'm going to start with the 6, and you can see that it's already taken by the red. So move on to the next one, and that's the 16. Then the 23, 30. 61 is already taken, okay? And then the 5, 23, which is already taken. Then the 28, 56, 66 is already taken. So the next line is 2, 29, 41, 45 is already taken in the 62. And then the last line is 6, which is taken the 32, 35, 36, and 65. So again, I'm going to make these orange numbers. And I'm going to count how many I have. So I have 3, and 3 is 6, 2 is 8, 2 more is 10, and 4 is 14. So I'm going to leave that alone right there at 14. Okay? So you can see how the game card is starting to fill up. Okay? So that means I need more green numbers to get up to that 13 or 14 mark. Okay? So I'm going to start in with the 3, the 27, the 30 is taken, the 63, 65 is taken, and then the 1 is taken, 15, 17 is taken, 46, 66 is taken, and then the 4, 17 is taken, 26, 32 is taken, so the 49, and then the next line is 12, 21, 23 is taken, 39, 67, and then the next line is 15, which is taken, then the 33 is taken, 43, 59, and 60, and then the last line is 16, which is taken, 19, 25, 32, and 49 are taken, so I'm going to make all these green numbers here, okay? So now I'm going to count how many I have. So I got 2, 3 is 5, 3 is 8, 2 more is 10, 2 is 12, 3 is 15, and 2 is 17. Okay, so here's the thing. You know, I have a couple more numbers than I want. I want that 13 or 14 mark, okay? But here's the thing with my color code. This thing is set in stone here, okay? So just because I have a couple more numbers than I want, that doesn't mean that I could just make this last line blue numbers now, okay? To reduce the numbers, all right? So, you know, it's a variable type of thing, but what I want to do is get that a good representation of each color, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to scroll to the right just to speed things up, okay? I'm not going to go through the blue numbers and all that, okay? So for the game card for May 18th, 2019, I got 15 red numbers, 14 orange, 17 blue, it turned out to be 17 green numbers, 15 blue numbers, and 8 purple numbers, okay? So here's the thing. Again, more than half the time, a 3-color combination comes up, okay? So that means more than half the time, 2 colors are not coming up. And that's what I want to focus on here. So again, the object of the game is to eliminate groups of numbers, all right? So you can see that all 5 colors, they do come up, okay? So far it's been 12 times out of 332 drawings, okay? So it does come up, but it's very rare, okay? So the strategy is try to correctly guess what color group will not be coming up, okay? And then eliminate that group off of the game card. All right, so as I look at this, what I'm going to go with, my prediction is that no purple numbers will be coming up, okay? And the reason why that is because there's only 8 numbers that represent the purple for this drawing, okay? And a purple number came up in the last drawing, and before that there was 3 purple numbers, okay? So, you know, I'm just trying to predict what the ebb and flow of things will be, okay? And for me, I think it's going to be purple, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate these purple numbers. I'm going to block them out, okay? So when I block out a number like these, this means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think would be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm spending $3 on the Powerball ticket, okay, which includes the Power Play. So in other words, what I'm doing is I'm betting $3 that none of these purple numbers will come up in the next drawing, okay? So if I'm correct with my bet and none of these purple numbers come up, then I'm one step closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so what I like to do now is get you involved at home. Okay, what I like you to do is draw out the game card. If you want to pause the video, go grab some paper, draw this out real quick. Okay, you don't even need the numbers, just draw out the squares. Okay, so what I like you to do, if you're going to follow me and say no purple numbers are going to come up, then what I like you to do is X out these purple numbers, like so. Okay, so at home, your game card should look something like this. Okay, but again, you don't even need the numbers here. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go on to the next strategy. All right, but before I do, I would like you to look at the colors here. Okay, and you decide for yourself what color won't be coming up. Okay, so if I can make a recommendation to you, it's either going to be the purple or the green. Okay, you can see that there's just been a ton of green forever here. Okay, and the reason why is because it's had more numbers for the last 20 or so drawings. Okay, so again, you decide what you think is going to happen. You can see that a red number has come up in the last 4 drawings, so maybe a red won't be coming up. All right, so you got a 1 in 5 chance of being correct, so make a decision and X out those numbers that that you're going to X out. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next strategy, and that's strategy number 2, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. Okay, so what I did is I took all 69 white ball numbers and I divided it into 7 different groups. Okay, so here's group number 1. This holds the numbers of 1 through 9. This is the only group with 9 numbers to it. Okay, and then the other groups have 10 for 69. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reduce this down so you can see the whole card. Okay, so how this works is, again, you can see that there's 7 groups here. Okay, group of 1 through 9, then the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Again, for 7 groups total. So there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. So the strategy is try to correctly guess which one of these groups will not have the winning Powerball number to it, and then eliminate that group off of the game card. Okay, so how this is read, okay, this big square right here, this is good for 5 drawings. Okay, and I like to break things down into 5 because it's easier to count back into the history going 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. Okay, but my theory is that if there's a lot of hits within this 5 drawings here, then maybe there won't be so many hits in the next 5 drawings, okay? Or vice versa, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a prediction on which one of these groups will not have the winning Powerball number to it, okay? So I have been going with 1 through 9, okay? And a lot of people out there say, well, this one only has 9 numbers where the rest of them have 10. You know, but you can see over here, I mean, that doesn't seem to matter. So, again, just choose what you think is going to happen, all right? And for me, I'm going to go with the numbers of 1 through 9, all right? And the reason why I'm going to do that is because this has tied a record of how many drawings in a row a certain group has come up. So you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drawings in a row. It's actually 10 drawings, okay? And I'll go over that in a second, all right? But there's 10 drawings in a row, and that ties a record. So I'm going to guess that no numbers of 1 through 9 are going to come up, okay? So I'm going to eliminate those numbers off of my game card, okay? But with the game card, with this format up right now, I want you to look at this and decide for yourself what group will not be coming up. All right. So if I could recommend something, I recommend the 1 through 9, and I also recommend the 60s as well, because you can see how hot these 60 numbers have been. Okay. So what gets hot must cool down. Okay. And whatever's cold, well, it will heat up eventually. So I'm going to blow this back up. So what I'm going to do is, you can see that here's the numbers for the last drawing, the 17, 7, 17, 33, 61, and 68, okay? So you can see that the 7 isn't updated here. So I'm going to update it right now. Okay, and that's how that works, okay? So now I'm going to count how many groups this hit. So this represents 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, okay? And then there's 260 numbers for 4 groups total. Okay, so the reason why I do that is now I go back into the history and see what's been going on. Okay, you can see that a 4 comes up the most, okay? And lately it's been a close second for 5, all right? And then a 3, okay? But as I go back into the history, a 3 comes up a lot more than a 5 does, okay? So I'm thinking that this next drawing is probably going to be a 3 here, okay? I'm thinking that this will be a 3 because it hasn't come up lately in the last 10 drawings, okay? So I'm thinking that it's due to have a run of them, all right? So, again, when I'm picking my 5 white winning Powerball numbers, I want it to represent 3 of these groups. So I think 4 of these groups will not have a winning Powerball number to it, okay? So, again, you choose what's going to happen, all right? So if you want to get my game, what you could do here is you could highlight this 7, and then you can go back into the history of things and see what colors have not come up, okay? Sometimes that's helpful, all right? So again, what I'm going to do is I don't think any numbers of 1 through 9 are going to come up, so I want to get rid of those numbers off of my game card. So I'll block those out, okay? And hopefully those numbers don't come up, all right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go on to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 3, the 50-50 picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the 50-50 picks, okay? So again, there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So there has to be a majority of either odd numbers or even numbers, or numbers to the high side or numbers to the low side, all right? So I like to keep track of that and try to correctly guess what the majority will be for the upcoming drawing, okay? So as I look at this, I'm going to update this right now, okay? So you can see this is odds and evens. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this 377. And basically what this is I kept track of 377 drawings in here. And this goes back to October 7th, 2015. That's when the Powerball Lottery went from 59 numbers to 69 numbers, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the game card and find out what colors, what numbers came up. So I got odd, 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 even. Okay, so as I go back to the 50-50 picks, I'm going to go with 4 odd numbers and 1 even. Okay, and now I'm going to make this 198. So out of 377 drawings, 198 drawings have been the majority of odd numbers. Okay. 179 drawings have been in the majority of even numbers. All right, so these fluctuate back and forth. Just about 20 drawings ago, these were even, going back and forth. All right, just like over here with this high and low. So all the numbers in the red area are considered high. All the ones in blue are considered low. So I have the 65. 66 and 67 down in the low numbers here. So when those 360 numbers come up, I do record it as a low number because it's in the blue area. Okay. So you can see this is really close. 189 drawings, so 188. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a prediction on what I think is going to happen, okay? So what I like to do is I like to break things down into fives so it shows me that majority. So out of this 5 drawings, you can see that the majority of the 5 drawings were even numbers, 3 drawings to 2, okay? And as I move down, it's odds, evens, odds, evens, odds, odds, okay? So I look at this and I say, okay, I see one odd, one even, 2 evens, three single evens, 4 single evens. Now I think that this is going to be evens here, okay? That's what I'm thinking, all right? You may think something else. So in order for me to put evens here, the next 3 drawings have to be the majority of even numbers, okay? So when I'm picking what I think will be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, I want it to represent at least 3 even numbers, okay? So moving on. In fact, I'm going to write that down, okay? And I want you to write down what you think is going to happen as well. And I'll show you why I'm doing this, okay? So back to the 50-50 picks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to... This will give you, let's see, 5, 10, 14, 15, 16 drawings, okay? And as you look at this 16 drawings, you can see that there's been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of the 16 have been to the odd side, okay? So that means there should be 7 over here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? So again, you decide for yourself what you think is going to happen, okay? So if you think that it's going to be another odd, then write that down, okay? So I'm going to move on to the next one here, and this is high and low, all right? So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to predict that it's going to be more high numbers than low numbers, okay? So here you can see that you got 5, 10, 15, 16, 17 drawings to go by, and you can see that there's only been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of those 17 drawings that it's been to the high side, okay? So I'm thinking that this drawing is going to be more numbers, at least 3 numbers to the high side, this area, than the low side, okay? So I'm going to write that down as well. And again, I'll show you in a second why I write them down, okay? So back to the 50-50s here. Next is left and right, okay? So as I look at this, again, this only gives me 16 now, okay? 16 drawings. So I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that has to be 7 over here, okay? So what I'm going to do, because this looks so sparse over here, I'm going to say that more numbers to the left side are going to come up than the right side, okay? So I'm going to write that down as well. Okay, so one more, and this is the red and blue area here, okay? So you can see that the red has a big advantage over the blue, okay? A lot more drawings, and as I go back into the history of things, you're going to see that there's just been a lot of red right through here, okay? So I kind of expect that to happen with the blue at some point, okay? So I think that the next, out of this 5 drawings, I think the majority is going to be to the blue side. And as I look at this, for the last 17 drawings here, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So there's 9 over here for the red. But I'm going to go ahead and say that I think that there's going to be more blue numbers than red numbers, okay? So I'm looking for at least 3 numbers in this blue area here, okay? So moving on, I do have something for the Powerball number itself, okay, the red number. Now there's 26 red numbers, all right? So in this column right here, if you see a blue number, that means it's low, 1 to 13. So basically what I did, again, there's 26 red numbers, and I just divided it in 2, okay? So again, if you see a blue number, that means it's low, 1 to 13. If you see a red number, that means it's high, 14 to 26, okay? Now over in this column, if you see a red number, that means it's odds. If you see a blue number, that means it's evens, okay? So why I do this is now I just look at the colors. Okay, so you can see that as I go down through here, you can see that the last single blue number is right there at that 11, okay? Then it goes way down here to the 1 and to the 12. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a single blue number here. I think the next one is going to be red. So I'm going to be concentrating on just the high numbers of 14 to 26, okay? And over here on this one, as I look at this, the red looks pretty sparse. So I think that this is going to be red right here, which means I think it's going to be a high odd number, okay? So now I'm just going to concentrate on the 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, and 25 instead of concentrating on all 26 numbers, okay? So I'm not sure what I'm going to go with, all right? I've been thinking the 19 or possibly the 21. The 21 comes up a lot, okay? For some reason, all right? It just does, so it may come up again. I'm not sure what I'm going to go with, but I'm going to concentrate on that 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, and 25 only, okay? So, as you look at this, you know, you decide what you think is going to happen, all right? And that's it. So, I'm going to be moving on to the next strategy. Let me write down blue here. I think it's going to be more to the blue area. Okay, remember that blue area is right here. Okay. So I'm going to go to the next strategy, and that's strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 1 numbers. Okay, so basically what I did is I took all the numbers and divided it into 4 different groups. Then I put colors to these groups, okay? So when the 5 white winning Powerball numbers come up, I record where they land within these groups down here in the stats, okay? So I'm going to do that right now. So again, the numbers are 7, 17, 33, 61, and 68. So as I look at this, I look for the 7. That was in the blue. 17 is in the red. 33 is in the orange, 61 is in the green, and 68 is in the orange. Okay, so I got 1 red, that's 17, 1 blue, that's 7, 2 orange, the 33 and 68, and 1 green, which is that 61. Okay, so when it hits all 4 color groups like that, I call this a row. Okay, so when I don't see a row in a while, then I feel that it's going to be due to be coming up, okay? Like if I could have correctly guessed that, oh, I think this is going to be a row just by looking at this, then when I'm picking my 5 white winning Powerball numbers, I wanted to represent all 4 of these color groups, okay? But I don't think that's going to happen this next drawing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to guess that no blue numbers are going to come up, okay? And I'm picking blue for a couple reasons. One, it's had 18 drawings in a row that one of these blue numbers have come up. So I'm thinking that it's due to miss, okay? Another is where the 50-50 picks come in, okay? So as I go back to the game card, I wrote down evens, high, left, blue, okay? So again, I think more numbers to the left side, at least 3 numbers over here, and 3 numbers to the high side here, okay? Which means that this is looking like a good possibility to miss. All right. So that's what I'm going to go with. And, you know, it's just a gut feeling and nothing more than that. Okay. So I'm going to go with no blue numbers here. So I'm going to go back to the game card and I'm going to get rid of all these blue numbers. All right. So hopefully none of those blue numbers come up. All right. So going back to the group 1 here. I want you to look at the game card and notice that these 5 numbers off here to the left side, and as I go back to the group 1, there's no numbers off here to the left, okay? So what I did is something what I call sharing the square, okay? So you can see the 65 right here. This shares the square with the 25, all right? And over here, the 66 shares the square with the 8, all right? So here's the thing. If I get rid of all these blue numbers like I'm going to get rid of the 8 as well, okay? So there's 16 numbers here, but when the 8 shares the square with the 16, I'm actually getting rid of 17 numbers here, okay? So moving on. Okay, so this is option card number 2. You can see I use the same colors of red, blue, orange, and green, all right? So actually, I have 15 of these option cards. And again, they all have the same colors. It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other, from each different option card, okay? So the reason why I have so many option cards is because I want as many options as possible, that when I look at something, hopefully it will show me something that says these numbers won't be coming up, okay? So last drawing, again, the 7 was in the green area, 17 in the red, 33 in the red, 68 in the red, and 61 in the orange, okay? So I got 3 red numbers, no blue numbers, 1 number in the orange, that's 61, and 1 number in the green, that number 7, okay? So when there's a hit like this, I color the background red for hot. When there's a miss, I color the background blue for cold, okay? Just to give me some separation here, okay? So here's the thing. The strategy is with this is you want to guess where the zeros are going to pop up, okay? So if I could have correctly guessed that none of these blue numbers are going to come up in the last drawing, I could have gotten rid of all these blue numbers and gave myself a much better chance at getting some kind of prize through the Powerball Lottery, okay? So because there was a 0 here, I'm going to make this 93, and this tells me that there's been 93 zeros in this column here, okay? And this column goes down pretty deep. Okay, so I think you get the gist of things here, all right? So again, the strategy is to try to guess what color group won't be coming up on a certain option card, okay? So again, I said that I have 15 option cards, and they all have the same colors of red, blue, orange, and green, okay? So what I do is I keep track of all 15 option cards as a group with the colors, okay? So I'm going to start with this blue area right here. You can see that it's a blue and it's a 6, okay? So that means that there were 6 zeros in the blue area. So let's go find them. So here's 1, right? Here's 2. Here's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so I'm going to hit the home button. It will bring me right back, okay? So here's the thing. Here's how I do things here. If there's 4 or less zeros within all 15 option cards, then I color the background red for hot. If there's 5 or more zeros with all 15 option cards, then I color the background blue for cold, okay? So what I'm trying to do here is try to guess where these blue marks are going to come up, okay? So for me, I think it's going to be here in this green, all right? So I like to concentrate on the green numbers to have at least 5 you know, a third of these option cards that have a 0 to it. All right. But what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to pick one from each color. All right. Usually I just like to pick one of these option cards. Okay. One, possibly two, because of all these rows, you know, there may not even be a 0 in one of these option cards. Okay. So it's really tricky to pick. But if you can get it right, it just reduces a ton of numbers and gives yourself a much better chance at getting some kind of prize. Okay. So the next one I'm going to go for is actually I want to go through each of these option cards with you for you to make a decision as well. Okay. So this one certainly can be a double row where another row comes up. So you should be aware of that. Okay. Now as I'm looking at this option card number 2, again I think more numbers to the high side and more numbers to the left. Okay. So I'm thinking that there's going to be lots of green missing. So maybe this green right here will be the one to pick. Okay, it just came off of 14 drawings. Okay, so now there's 5 drawings right here. So maybe it's just due to miss. All right. So if you want to take that one, I'm not. I have mine that I've taken already. So, but this is for you at home. All right. Here's another one, option card number 3. You know, I look at all these single rows here, okay? And I'm thinking that this is going to be a row right here. Okay, so I'm thinking that all 4 of these color groups will have a winning Powerball number to it. That's what I'm thinking right now, okay? So moving on. Here you can see that all 4 color groups are spread out through all, are just spread out, you know. So something like this, I just look at the stats down here. And looking down here, you can see that this green hasn't had a 3-0 thing in a while, okay. So here it is right here, all right. So maybe that's due to happen again with this green. So you might want to eliminate the green numbers. There might be a 0 right here, okay. Okay, so moving on, number 5. This is where I'm going to make a pick, okay. And I said green numbers, but with this one, I'm going to go with the orange, okay. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because, again, I think more numbers are going to be off here to the left side, okay? And as I look at this no 3 means that there's never been 3 zeros in a row in this orange column here, okay? So as I look at this, you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 single zeros before it's doubled up, okay? So I'm thinking with this many single zeros, it's due to double up, and I think the 0 is going to be right here, okay? But also, I think it's going to miss not only this drawing, but the drawing after to give it that 3-0 look, okay? So I'm going to go with no orange numbers, so the 5, 6, 15, 16 all the way down, okay? So here the 69 shares the square with the 53, so I'll get rid of that 53 as well. And hopefully none of those numbers come up, okay? So here's the thing, you know, like Sherlock Holmes would say, you know, it's a matter of deduction, all right? So if these numbers don't come up, then the ones on the game card have to come up. Okay, so that's the thing. Hopefully I made all the correct picks so far and none of these blocked out numbers come up, which again means that the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers are still left here on the game card, hopefully. Okay, so moving on. Again, here with the green area, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drawings in a row. So maybe that will be due to miss. Or, there's a big gap between the rows, so maybe a row will be coming up. But for me, again, I'm going to stick with that orange, okay? So moving on to number 6, this is the only option card that has broken things up into odds and evens. You can see all the red numbers are odds, all the blue are even. In the high side, all the orange are odd, all the green are even, okay? So here, this was a hard pick for me. Again, I think more even numbers are going to come up. So I'm going to go with no red numbers, okay? Again, I think more even numbers will be coming up, more to the high side. This red has hit 14 drawings in a row, so maybe it's due to miss. So I'm going to go ahead and take away these red numbers off of my game card. Okay, so that's the 1765, and that shares the square with the 25. The 19 shares the square with the 67, so I'll get rid of that as well. And hopefully those numbers don't come up, okay? So for you at home, when there's a single zero like this, lots of times there's another zero here. So maybe you might want to get rid of the blue, depending on how you look at the 50-50 picks, okay? So moving on to number 7. I'm going to make a pick from here too, okay? And I'm going to go with the green. Remember I said I thought there was going to be lots of green misses? Well, I think one is going to be right here in the option card number 7, okay? Now the reason why I think this is because this only has 65 zeros to it, where the others have 180, it's way behind. So as I look at this, you can see how sparse things are. Okay, those zeros come up few and far in between, okay? And the reason why is because it represents 20 numbers, okay? So it has the 8 and the 66, the 19, okay, and the 67, the 58 and the 68 and the 53 and the 69, okay? So there's 20 numbers here, but there's still, there's 49 numbers that can still come up, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't think any of these green numbers are going to come up on this option card number 7. So I'm going to go with the 4 corners here, which they're already gone. So I'll go with the middle, and then the 34, 35, 45, 69 off of the game card here. Okay, so hopefully none of those numbers come up. Okay, so as I look at this, 3 zeros just came up, so I don't think that's going to happen again, all right? So I think that one of these red numbers will be coming up, all right? So we'll see what happens. So moving on to number 8. Again, all the colors are all over the card here, so that's no help of dividing things. So I got to look at the stats, okay? And I'm not sure what's going to happen. Maybe it's going to be this green here where it's been 2, 2, whoops, 2, 2, 2. So maybe this will be a 2 as well. So maybe you might want to get rid of the green numbers here on option card number 8. Moving on to 9 here. This could be where another green is going to have a 0. Okay, this just came off of 17 drawings in a row, so maybe there won't be so many in this next line here, this next streak. All right, so you might want to get rid of the green numbers here. Moving on to 10. Here's another one with no 3 zeros in a row here, okay? Like right here. This has never happened with the blue. But here's the thing, you know, I don't think both of these are going to miss. All right. So I'm kind of thinking that this is going to be a row right here. Okay. And the reason why is you can see this huge gap between rows. So I'm thinking a row just might come right back up where all four of these colors will have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to move on to 11. I'm almost done here. Again, there's only 15 of these. Okay. So here, when you see two rows like this, usually there's going to be a 0 within these. So I don't think it's going to be here because this is, I think it's going to have at least 3 numbers. All right. They could be all orange, but who knows? All right. But if anything, I'm going to be looking at this blue or red. All right. So I'm just going to leave this one alone. But if you want to go ahead and pick one, then pick one. Okay. So moving on to 12. Here, this orange might be a good one to take. Okay. Also, the green might be a good one to take because this, if there's a 0 here, then this will be a 1. So it's a 1 followed by a 1. And that happens a lot for some reason. Okay. You can see it over here. See it right here. See it right here. Okay. It just happens a lot. Okay. So that could happen right here as well. So you might want to get rid of these green numbers. All right. I'm not. All right. I've already made my picks. So here's another one with the green. All right. It's hit 9 drawings in a row. It's over on here, this right side, where I think the majority of the numbers will be over here to the left side. Okay. Go ahead and make a decision on this. Okay, number 14. Here you can see that the rows look pretty sparse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to predict that a row will be coming up where all 4 of these color groups will have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, and the last one, 15. Like I said, these zeros like to double up, so maybe another 0 will be coming up. So you might want to get rid of these green numbers in the 15 option card. Okay. So moving on, I'm going to go back to the strategies. Okay. So strategy number 5, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers. Okay, so much like group 1 where I divided things into 4 different groups, here I divided things into 8 different groups. Okay, so the thing is I know with this one, there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So I know that 3 of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to correctly guess which one of these color groups will not have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how this works is I have 15 of these option cards as well. They all have the same colors of red, blue, orange, and green, purple, brown, gray, and yellow. Okay, so here's option card number 2, number 3, okay? And they're all in order, red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this, okay? So again, the winning numbers were the 7, that's in the gray area. The 17 is in the red. 33 is in the red. 68 is in the blue, and the 61 is in the purple. Okay, so I like to read things left to right, okay? So I'm going to start with the red. So I got 2 red numbers. So I got 2 red, 1 blue, 1 purple, and 1 gray. Okay. So I'm going to update this. And again, I said 2 red numbers. That's the 17 and 33. Then 1 number in the blue, that's 68. There's no winning Powerball numbers in the orange area. No winning Powerball numbers in the green area. There's 1 in that purple, that's 61. There's no winning Powerball numbers in the brown. There's one in that gray, that's 7. And there is no winning Powerball numbers in the yellow. Okay? So now I count how many color groups it hit. So I got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to put a 4 down here. Okay? Now since the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side, I'm going to make this 4 red. Okay? So that just helps me, you know, when I look at something, I say, oh, look at this 3 right here. It's red. That means with this drawing, I know that the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side. Okay? So when I see a streak of, this one really doesn't have one, but when I see a streak of red, well, I'm going to think that it's going to be green eventually. Okay? And if I think it's going to be green, then that means the majority of the numbers will be over here to the right side. So I'm going to concentrate over here on the left side at picking where I think the next 0 is going to be. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a prediction on what I think is going to happen. Okay? So again, there's going to be at least 3 of these zeros. All right? On average, you can see how many 4s are here. Okay? So on average, there's 4. So it's like a 50-50 guess that 4 of these color groups are going to have a hit to it. 4 of these color groups are going to have a miss to it. Okay? Just like this one did. You have 4 misses. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So I'm going to predict where the 0 is going to be. And I'm going to go with this purple right here. I think the 0 is going to be right here. So here's the thing, I don't even know what numbers I'm going to get rid of, okay? So I got to go up and look at this, and I see that these are the purple numbers, okay? I don't think any of these are going to come up, so I'm going to get rid of them off of the game card. So the only one left is at 61, so hopefully that doesn't come back up, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to scroll down slowly for you. And I want you to choose where you think that 0 is going to be. Okay, so make a decision. If you need more time, then pause the video. And then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to option card number 2. See if I need to update this. I do. Okay. So again, the numbers were 7, that's in red. 17 is in orange. 33 is in purple. 61 and 68 are in yellow. So I got red, orange, purple, 2 yellow. So red. No winning Powerball numbers in the blue. 1 in the orange, that's 17. No winning Powerball numbers in the green. 1 in the purple, that 33. No winning Powerball numbers in the brown area, and no winning Powerball numbers in the gray area, and 2 in the yellow. So how many do I have? I got 1, 2, 3, 4 color groups, okay? Like I said, on average, it's 4, okay? So here, the majority is over here to the right side, so I'm going to make that 4 green. Okay, so I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to work my way down, okay? And again, you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. Okay, so for me, I'm going to go with this red area. So another thing I haven't explained is why does this have the background of blue and why does this have the background of red? Okay, so here's the thing. If there's 3 or more zeros within this 5, and like I said, I like to break things down into 5, mostly because it will show me a majority of things. Okay, so here you can see the majority is zeros. All right. So down here, you can see at least 3 of these had a hit to it, okay? So when that happens, I color that red for hot, okay? So as I go down through, we all know the lottery is random, okay? And this is what random looks like, okay? when something's random, nothing can stay hot forever and nothing can stay cold forever, okay? So when I see something like this where it's been really, really hot, well, I know it can't stay hot forever. I know it's going to be cold at some time. I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen. Okay, you can see how hot this red has been. And not only that, it's been 5 drawings in a row, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 drawings in a row. Okay, and we saw that with the individual numbers already. Okay, so again, I think the 0 is going to be right here. Who knows? Okay, it's always just going to be a guess. All right, so I'm going to get rid of these red numbers, and that includes the 66 right here. Okay, so you can see that 66 is already gone. So there's nothing to get rid of for me, okay? But for you at home, again, you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video and then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on. I think you have the gist of things, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick no purple numbers are going to come up in this option card number 3. So you can see that there's been 7 drawings in a row, so I think the 0 is going to be right here. We'll see what happens, and I'm going to get rid of these purple numbers, and that's the 66 to the 32, which I know is already gone, and the 33 to the 57. So that knocks out 3 numbers. Hopefully those numbers don't come up. Okay. And for you at home, again, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. And again, you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. And this is what I mean by a streak of red over here. Okay. Well, I know it's going to be green eventually. All right. So if you're thinking that there's going to be more green numbers here, another green right here, that means the majority of the numbers will be over here. And you want to concentrate over here on where you think a 0 is going to be, okay? So you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video. And then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to number 4. For me, I'm going to go with yellow. And as I head down through here, you can see how hot this has been, okay? And I think the 0 is going to be right here. So we'll see what happens, and I'm going to eliminate those yellow numbers, the 65 and the 61. So I'll get rid of the 26, 28, and the 62, so that's 3 more numbers off the board. I hope those numbers don't come up, okay? And for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. And you decide where you think that 0 is going to be, okay? If you need more time, then pause the video. And then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to number 5. For me, I'm going to go with no purple numbers, okay? And as I head down through, you see it got pretty hot from here to here, so I think another 0 is going to come up, okay? So we'll see what happens. Now this one's kind of weird because, you know, you can see that as I go up through here, you can see that all 5 here had a 0 to it, okay? And that happens a lot, all right? But here with this purple area, that hasn't happened yet, okay? So I'm thinking that's due to happen, and I'm thinking that this whole row of 5 will have a 0 to it, okay? That's what I'm thinking right now, all right? So what are those numbers? Those numbers are right here, okay? So I'm going to eliminate those purple numbers off of the game card. And you can see that they're already gone, okay? So for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. Again, you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video and then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to number 6. I'm going to go with no orange numbers, okay? So as I scroll down here, you can see things got pretty hot from here down to here, so I think the 0 is going to be right here. We'll see what happens, okay? But I'm going to get rid of those orange numbers, and that's the 5, 14, 21, 30, all the way down. So I get rid of the 46. So hopefully that number won't come up, okay? So it's only one number, but you know, it's one more number that's off the game card, okay? So for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. Certainly this yellow looks pretty attractive as well, okay? But you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video and then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to number 7. For me, I'm going to go with the green. Okay, so as I make my way down, you can see how hot it started out with, okay? And just kind of stayed hot, actually. So because it's been so hot up here, I'm expecting it to cool down eventually, okay? So I think the 0 is going to be right here. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to get rid of these green numbers, and that's the 49, 58, 51, 60, all the way across. So I'll get rid of the 60 and the 55 here. Okay, so for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. Okay, and you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. Certainly this brown area looks pretty good. But you decide. If you need more time, then pause the video and then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to number 8. For me, I'm going to go with red. Okay, so as I scroll down, you can see how hot things have been. Okay, and now I think the 0 is going to be right here. So we'll see what happens, but I'm going to get rid of these red numbers. And that's the 5, 16, 21, 31 all the way down. You can see there's nothing to get rid of, okay? So for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. So you may not always want to go what I pick, okay? I know I created the game, but still it's a guessing game, and sometimes I don't guess all that well, okay? So you may want to just pick your own, all right? So you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video and then X out that color group off your game card. You know, what can I say? Some people just have a really good knack of guessing, you know? So here, with option card number 9, I'm going to go with no purple. So as I make my way down, you see that things, I don't know, they're a little bit more hot than cold. So I'm going to go with the 0 right here. So I'm going to get rid of the purple numbers here. And that's the 11, 18 on the left side, that pattern, and the 37, 64 pattern on the right side. So I'll get rid of the 43 and the 50. So that's 2 more numbers off of the card, okay? And for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. And again, you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. This blue looks awful attractive as well. Certainly looks like there's going to be a hit here in the red, okay? So let's go up and take a look at that red. So maybe one of these red numbers will be coming up here, okay? But again, for you at home, you decide where you think that 0 is going to be, okay? If you need more time, then pause the video and then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to number 10. Here I'm going to go with gray numbers, okay? So as I work my way down, you can see that this has been really, really hot. And now I think the 0 is going to be here, okay? So we'll see what happens. I'm going to get rid of these gray numbers, and that's the 17, 28 all the way around. That pattern of 17, 28, and you can see that there's nothing here, so I'm going to move on, okay? So for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. And again, you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video and then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to 11. I'm going to go with red. All right, so here's the red. As I make my way down here, you can see that things got pretty hot through here, okay? And now I think the 0 is going to be right here. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to get rid of those red numbers. And that's the 6, 17, 35, 56. And there's nothing to get rid of. Okay, so for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. You see there's been a bunch of red over here. Okay, so you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. It certainly looks like there's going to be a hit right here in this green area. So we'll see what that looks like. 20, 34, 55. So the 20, 42 possibly could be coming up. Okay. But again, for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. And again, you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video and then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to number 12. For me, I'm going to go with no purple numbers, okay? So as I make my way down here, you can see that it's been pretty hot. So I think the 0 is going to be right here. So I'm going to get rid of those purple numbers. And that's the 6 and the 34. And you can see there's nothing to get rid of here, okay? So just because there's nothing to get rid of, that doesn't mean I'm going to go back here and pick another color group, okay? You know, the odds right now, on average, for all 15 option cards are 50-50, okay? So if I strike out with these purple numbers and I go back for another color group, my odds go way up that I'm going to miss it, okay? That I'm going to get it wrong, all right? So again, I just like to pick one out of these color groups and then work my way to the next option card, okay? So I like to pick one of these color groups on this option card and work my way to the next one, all right? So, sorry, let me start over here. Let me scroll down slowly here for you. And again, you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video and then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to 13. I'm going to go with no purple numbers. So here's the purple. And as I make my way down through here, can see that things got pretty hot down through here, so I think the 0 is going to be right here. Okay, so we'll see what happens, but I'm going to get rid of these purple numbers. And that's the 17 and the 69. So here's that 20. So maybe it will be the 42 that comes up now. Okay. So I'm getting down there. I got 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers left. Okay. And for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. Okay, so you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video. And then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to 14. For me, I'm going to go with gray. So here's the gray. And as I make my way down through, you see things got really, really hot there. Okay. So I'm going to go with a 0 right here. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to get rid of the 66, the 12, 24, 28, 37, 41, 69, 57. So I'll get rid of the 12, okay? And now that brings me down to 6 numbers, all right? So for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. And you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. Okay, so if you need more time, then pause the video. And then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to the last one, number 15 here. Okay. So as I scroll down through here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the red area. You can see how hot this has been, okay? And now I think it's going to cool off here. So I think the 0 is going to be right here. So we'll see what happens, and I'm going to get rid of this red area. Okay, so I think the only one left is that 39. So I'll get rid of that. And that brings me down to the 5 winning Powerball numbers, okay? So I'm going to go with the 36, the 40, the 42, the 44, and the 52. Okay, so let me highlight these. Okay, so that's what I'm going to go with. So I thought there was going to be more even numbers than odd, and you can see that they're all even, okay? More to the high side, you can see that they're all to the high side. More to the left, I got 4 of these to the left, and more to the blue, and you can see that I have more here to the blue, okay? So hopefully I'm correct in all those, and that these numbers will come up for me, okay? Now we're all going to look at this differently, so we're all going to come up with a different result, okay? So hopefully one of us will be correct one of these days, okay? So here's the thing. What are the odds of me getting this all correct, okay? So the odds are, you know, to get the grand prize, all 5 white balls and a red ball, the odds are 1 in 292 million that you're going to get that correct, okay? My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct. If I get the red ball correct at the same time, then bonus, right? But still, 5 white balls pays $1 million plus the power play, so that's $2 million, okay? And the odds of doing that are 1 in 11,688,000, okay? So another way to look at this is how many different combinations can you make out of, you know, when you divide 5 numbers into 69 numbers? How many 5-number combinations can you make out of 69 numbers? And the answer is 11,688,000, okay? So the odds are pretty steep, okay? Another nice prize is 4 white balls and a red ball. That pays $50,000 plus the power play. If you get that power play times 5, it's $250,000. Okay, the odds of doing that are just about 1 in a million. Okay, and then the more realistic odd is 4 white balls. That pays $100 plus the power play. Okay, and 3 white balls or 2 white balls and a red ball would pay $7. Now, if you just get the red ball, the Powerball, then that's $4 plus the power play. Okay, so you can see that the odds are really steep. Okay, so I just want you to know that if you spend $3 per drawing, there's 2 drawings per week, that will equal $312 per year that you will spend on the Powerball, on the lottery. Okay, so in closing, I want to thank you for watching. Okay, if you would like to support my channel, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. Okay, and as always, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.